Good morning. This is Pastor Doug. Last Sunday, Pastor Melinda brought a message on the path of humility. This is part of the following the way of Jesus from the book of James. Humility is something that we may talk about, but it's far more difficult to actually put it into practice. To be able to resist the pull that comes from within us that says, hey, what about me? What about my needs? What about my reputation? What about my ideas? What about my plans and my desires? There's something in us that just screams out, hey, put yourself first. And of course, the world around us really stresses the values of getting ahead and oftentimes even getting ahead at the expense of other people. That I succeed, and by my success, I may need to sort of climb on your shoulders to be able to get ahead. Jesus gave us a great, of course, the ultimate example of humility, of being in very nature God, putting that aside and taking on the form of a servant, humbling himself, not just to be in human form, but actually the form of a servant to give his life on a cross for us. As Jesus said that he, the Son of Man, did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. And that's the example and the model that we are called to follow. It's a path of humility that says, God, it is your will to be done, not my own will. It's a path that says it's your kingdom to come. It's your name to be lifted up and hallowed, not my own kingdom that I'm sort of trying to build, or not my own name and my own will to be exalted and lifted up. What does it look like to practice that in your spheres of influence? Even beginning at home. Husbands, what does it mean to live in humility with your wives? Wives, what does it mean to live in humility with your husbands? Even parents, to be humble even with our children, not lording it over them, but actually even serving them. But children, what does it mean to live in submission and humility with our parents? How about with neighbors? How about with fellow church members? What does it mean to consider the needs of others, again, more important even than our own needs? Those are difficult questions to ask, and that's a path that requires the grace of God. But thankfully, as the scripture said, God gives grace to the humble. Humble ourselves before the Lord, and he, in fact, will lift us up. This week, we're going to talk about the path of healing prayer. In fact, this is a subject that is so rich that we're actually going to take a couple of weeks to talk about it, but it's coming from James 5 and looking at what's the role of prayer and faith and even things like confession, the church community, endurance and perseverance and fervency in prayer. How does that all relate to addressing physical infirmity, sickness, praying for the sick? Does God heal today even as he healed during the life and ministry of Jesus, even as he healed as through the life and ministry of the apostles, even as he healed during the early church? Is that something that we can tap into today as part of the salvation of God, who has come to set us free and bring salvation both to spirit and to mind and to body? So we're going to wrestle with a challenging topic over the next couple of weeks. Look forward to seeing you either in person or online. In the meantime, have a great week. Live on the path of humility.